Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, today we have gathered here. Mute. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, sorry for the interruption. Okay, let us start with the session now. Today's session is arranged specially how to prepare logbook, so that you will have an idea that what work exactly you have to do for the logbook work and how the reports related to this logbook written and submitted. So basically, let us have a small introduction first. I am Dr. Kalyani. I am looking after this program, Postgraduate Diploma in Hospital Planning and Design. So whatever queries you have throughout this duration of your program, you can write to me or you can call me. So these numbers are given in your learner handbook, as well as these are also available on the website. Okay, so please read the learner handbook, understand the requirements for the program, and proceed for your program completion accordingly. So basically, in hospital planning and design, we have total 8 courses. Courses means to refers to the subjects that we study for completion of this program. So when we are looking at it with reference to assessment part, then we can divide it as a theory course and practical course. So out of these total 8 courses, 7 courses are theory courses and 1 course is practical based. The approach of this course is practical. That 1 course is logbook. So how to go about this logbook, that I will be explaining in today's session. So theory courses, study material is provided to you. You have to study that thoroughly, answer the assignment questions, submit those assignments in soft copy, and towards the end of the program, we will be having term and examination. This will be the assessment part for theory courses, 7 theory courses. Now with reference to logbook, what we are going to do is we will be having 2 assessments for logbook. Okay. So one will be continuous assessment and term and assessment. And this total logbook accounts for 50 marks and credits are allotted are 4 credits. You are not going to be assessed for credits. You will be assessed over 50 marks. Credits refers to only study hours, expected study hours. So those are just to denote the study hours expected to complete any course. So for logbook, total marks are allotted 50 marks and total credits are 4 credits. These 50 marks are then divided into 2 types of assignments, continuous assessments and term end assessment. So logbook 1 is called as continuous assessment. Okay, so logbook 1 has total 15 marks. So our pattern for assessment is 30% of the total marks. So 30% of 50 marks are allotted for continuous assessment and 70% of total marks, that is 50 marks, are allotted for term end assessment. So in that with that logic, logbook 1 is continuous assessment. It has total 15 marks and the submission date for logbook 1 is 1st January 2021. Okay, and next is logbook 2. Logbook 2 is term and assessment part. I hope you are getting me and my voice is clear to you. Okay, and whatever queries you have, we will answer these queries towards the end of this session. Once I finish my presentation, we will be going towards the query resolution once again, related to logbook only. Okay, so logbook 1, continuous assessment; logbook 2, term and assessment. So as a theory course will have examination, and it will be assessed with the help of examination. Logbook 2 is term and assessment, and it will be treated as term and examination for this logbook course. And total marks for logbook 2 are 35 marks. Okay, and submission date for logbook 2 is 15th March 2021. So, okay, so please note this. And logbook 1, submission of logbook 1 is compulsory. You have to submit your logbook at 1st January. Okay, within time. Then only you can submit logbook 2. You are not submitting logbook 1 and directly at 15th March you are submitting logbook 1 and 2 simultaneously, then it is not acceptable, it will not get evaluated. So please follow the timelines accordingly. And this submission is to be done in soft copy. So next is how to prepare this. Now we have seen the division of the assessments. Now let us move on how to prepare it. Exactly what to prepare and how to prepare. So let us first see the logbook 1 part. For logbook 1, it is given that what parts are to be written. So first of all, we have to visit a minimum 100 bedded hospital. Okay, whichever hospital near to near to you, you can approach it, or you have connections with them, so you can contact them and establish your own contact and visit that hospital. Okay. So for logbook 2, you have to visit a minimum 100 bedded logbook 1, I'm sorry. For logbook 1, you have to visit a minimum 100 bedded hospital, and then you will be noting your observations. Okay. For logbook 1, you have to spend minimum 30 to 40 hours in the hospital. This is the approximate range we have been quoting. Some of you may require more time or lesser time, but the approximate range that you need to invest 30 to 40 hours to complete this logbook 1 in the hospital. So let us now see what are the exact observations you will be noting down, and that you should put in your report for logbook 1. So these are the points. So first point about hospital. So once you have finalized with which hospital you will be approaching, so you can just start your observation. So you have to first write down and know about the hospital. What type of hospital it is, what is the location of that hospital, total area of the hospital, what is the bed strength. All these things really matter in actual functioning or operations of any hospital. And also these all parameters are to be taken into consideration while you are designing or planning for a hospital. So that's why once you understand any existing hospital building, then you will be ready to prepare any new plan for hospital. So basic objective behind this logbook course is that you, after studying this, you should be able to be a active part in a planning of any hospital. Okay, in the real time situation. So once you observe any hospital, so you have to note down these all points that I will be telling you. So first of all, about hospital. Here I have prepared a virtual. I have taken a virtual hospital and I have prepared a sample logbook. Okay, so we will this will be a sample how your report for logbook 1 will look. So this is, you will write name of the learner, your name, course name here will come as, here course name will come as logbook. Okay, logbook will be the course name. Okay, and program name will be whatever it is, hospital planning and design. So about the organization, I have written here name of the hospital, ABC Hospital, multi-specialty tertiary care, location Pashan Road, Lavale. If the hospital chosen by you is accredited, then you can write it. If not, you can skip this remark. Facility is accredited by JCI or NABH or so ISO, whichever. So hospital that I have imagined is Express Highway. Then this 300 bedded total area. You can write whatever you want. It is like 50,000 square meters. Whatever is the area, you have to mention here. Then you can enumerate here the how many, here I have written the overall healthcare facilities distributed across 6 floors along with the basement. So such comments, whatever facade, looking at the building, whatever your observations are, you can note down here. Also, I have enumerated here the facilities, specialities that are available in the hospital. This was about the hospital. So next is parking. Next part is parking, which is very crucial while you are planning in a hospital. So if it is big hospital, you have to plan for separate space for parking. So while writing about parking or noting down the points related to parking, please note down the capacity of the parking. How is the parking structure? Nowadays, parking structure, many numerous mechanisms are coming up so as to accommodate more and more vehicles. So single level parking, multi-level parkings are there. So whatever is there, you have to write it down. Show you how I have written that the facility has multi-level car parking building. It is a separate building kind of, and for medical, non-medical visitors, and it is 2-flooring. It is located immediately behind the main healthcare facility. So main terrace level car park connects with the hospital building at the 4th level, creating an easy access for medical staff. Okay, so in total 200 cars can be accommodated. Basement of main building is allocated for staff. 2-wheeler parking, basement of main building. So whatever plan the hospital has related to parking, that you will be noting here down. Simultaneously, after end of each point, you can note down your suggestions. If you say that the space is insufficient, you can write your suggestion. If you say that single level parking is not accommodating, is not enough for this number of footfall, then you can suggest them for multi-level car parking. So if there is not, many hospitals do not have separate area, dedicated area for staff, which creates a lot of problems for staff because they have to park their vehicle and immediately join for the duty. So they should not be wasting their time in finding the space for parking. So in that connection, you can make your suggestions. Next point is circulation. This is very important point. So circulation is how people in the hospital move, how they enter, how they exit, what is how they move in the building. So circulation, why it is important that it should not hamper your working. Suppose suppose an anesthesiologist is coming in the hospital. So of course he is in urgency. He should not be routed through OPD and then he is waiting for long lifts, long queue in lifts. So the anesthesiologist should directly go to the OT. It should be given preference in this way. So he should be given in the car park only. There should be an elevator which directly goes to that level. If the OT is on level 4, then there should be a lift which directly goes to level 4. So in this connection, circulation is important, or laboratory people are moving around. So laboratory people, if there is urgency, or biomedical waste management. So waste should also move in a different pathway. So what are these different pathways? So that we have to mention here. Now, loading and unloading of goods, that is also important, that loading and unloading of goods, pathway of that, or ambulances, or the medical staff. So all these channels should be separate, or at least they should be segregated in a way that they are not hampering each other's work. Okay, so in that connection, circulation we have to write. So here is circulation, patient entry. So this is through ground floor, at the main entrance, and emergency entrance. Okay. So medical staff, uh, staff coming from public transport, staff coming from vehicles. Okay, what is the elevators arrangement for them? Loading and unloading, waste circulation. Okay, these points we have written, and in total we can summarize that there are total 4 number of entries in building: accident emergency, general entry, and 2 entries. One is for service staff and one is for administrative and clinical staff. So in this way, this has been written. So next point will be signages. So it is very important with respect to wayfinding and providing adequate information. So the motto of providing adequate signages is to so that every time a staff member do not have to invest his or her time to show the way or to give information to patients or their relatives. So in that way, signages are helpful. So we have to manage them accordingly. So availability of signages, there are many types of signages: directorial signages, there are floor directories, there are emergency related signages. So all these points you have to observe and you have to note down. If they are not in place, then you can add it in your remark and you can suggest how you can make it better. Also the language of the content. So it is advisable that signages should be bilingual in English as well as in local language. If it is in Maharashtra, then it should be in English, like inquiry booth. So Mahiti Kaksha. It should not be only inquiry booth. Below that inquiry booth, that it should be written that Mahiti Kaksha, so that layman or the person who do not understand English can read it in his or her native language. So this is the part of science that is given. That is given as a sample, of course. You can add pictures. Okay. Here I have written that Helvetica font for English and Devanagari is used. Okay. So these are some pictures. Directorial. Standard beds, private beds, deluxe rooms. So this is emergency exit. Signage is related to emergency exit. So this is floor directory. On which floor what is available, which services are available on which floor. Then the room signages, exactly you are on the floor and which room is where, isn't it? From room number 1 to 10 this way, from room number 11 to 20 this way, or labor room or maternity ward. So these signages should be there, and if they are present, then you can note down that it is present in this way. Okay. So, fire safety measures. So this is a very important part again. Of course, all the points are important. But fire safety is while we are planning a hospital, fire safety issues are to be kept in mind. Availability and placement of firefighting equipment. So what are the norms? So for this you have to first get well versed with what are the ideal norms related to fire safety. At how, what is the distance at which the fire equipment should be placed. At each floor there should be a firefighting equipment. A hose pipe should be there. So in that way. Then the provision for smoke or fire detection, is it there or not? Then what is the evacuation plan? The evacuation plan should be depicted. At least between one floor, one plan should be there. So these we have to mention. Fighting. Here, fire safety measures. So here I have written here. Fire safety consists of fire detection and firefighting equipment such as smoke detectors, heat detectors. Most of the floors and rooms are fitted with sprinklers. Now this is the part of firefighting equipment. Operation theatre, treatment room having high-end medical equipment are provided with manual extinguisher to avoid any damage. So fire hose reel cabinets are placed at every fire staircase lobby. So similarly, I have written it. So here, for evacuation of in the time of emergency, wayfinding signages are here provided. Fire alarms are provided. So this is the escape plan. Okay. Active for fire smoke extraction system has been provisioned for self-activation. Provision for openable windows. Okay, so these things we have to. Okay, this is a sample. You can of course add on to that. Okay. Next is civil infrastructure. So this is a very in detail part that you need to study, or you have to question or interview the staff to understand the civil infrastructure. Okay. So water supply, what is the source, how the this part is conducted, the filtration, provision of potable water and domestic use, water for domestic use. So what is the requirement per bed, how it is catered, what is the distribution, water distribution system. These things you have to ask the staff and get the information. Okay, then sewerage is stuff, how the wastewater is collected and disposed. Then elevators and escalators. How is the placement of elevators and escalators? Then pneumatic tubes for transport of laboratory materials. If available, then what is the system for that? That you can mention. Then medical gases. Of course, in the most of the multi-specialty hospitals have central system for medical gases. So the appropriate color coding for pipelines, if it is there or not, that everything you can observe and note it down. So this is about civil infrastructure here. So water supplies from main municipality water source, water tanks and pump rooms have been located in the basement. So in this way, whatever is the description that you found in your hospital, the hospital that you are studying, that you have to mention. Rainwater collection tank has been provided for 1 to 1.5 days for storage. No water harvesting pits have been provisioned. Okay, so you can suggest that how rainwater harvesting can be accommodated. Okay, so sewerages plan, elevators, number of elevators, total 14 number of elevators have been used. So how it is distributed? 2 for service staff, 2 for car parks. You can add such pictures as well. It is just next is biomedical waste management. How the segregation is done, how the disposal is done. If treatment is, most of the hospitals do not do any treatment of waste, they just segregate and dispose it off. But in case there is any provision for on-site treatment, then you can mention it. Is green parameters. Green parameters, if the hospital is following it, then you can mention it. Okay, so lightning, general lightning, that if OPDs are managed in such a way that maximum daylight is used, so you can mention that. Or in ICUs or labor rooms, the this in labor rooms also the maximum use of daylight is done, then we can mention that. Indoor air quality, if they have monitors which can show the level of oxygen in the air, total air quality, or how much particulates are present in the air. So common monitors, if they are present, we can mention that. So how is the housekeeping facility available? Then energy efficiency, for energy efficiency, if the LED bulbs are used all over the project, or any specific mechanism they are using, say for, just a second, I will show you here. Yeah, energy efficiency, like solar system, solar water heating system is available. Then eco-friendly refrigerants and fire suppression system with zero halons, thereby minimizing the negative impact of ozone layer. Now these things are very technical things, but if you get the information from the hospital staff, you can of course mention it. Okay. Then building materials, recyclable material. What kind of recyclable material is used that can ensure that less pollution is created, less waste is generated during the construction? What measures were taken for this? We can mention it. Then gardens and landscape, of course. So as we can minimize, hospitals are the places where maximum waste is generated, too much waste is generated. So to reduce that impact, if we can plant some trees, or we can have some more greenery, then it is always beneficial. It is always beneficial to reduce the stress level of patient and staff, and it is also helpful to maintain the balance of environment. Little small movement from the organization. Then you can mention your suggestions in the individual point and then summarize them in the suggestion section. Or if you do not have much suggestions, then you can summarize the suggestions in one section only. You can also take help of Indian Health Facility Guidelines while you are suggesting any suggestions, any improvements or recommendations. You can take help of our study books, of course, whatever provided to you, and the Indian Health Facility Guidelines. The link is given in the learning management system, so you can refer that and you can make recommendations for improvement. Okay, so this was about the logbook 1 part. The logbook 1, as I mentioned earlier, it is to be submitted on 1st January. So once you finish with your logbook 1 part, in the same hospital, you can do your work for logbook 2. Okay, let me just check if there is any query. So I will just check for the queries and then I will go for next. Okay, the queries are related to study books. Okay. Satya, if books are not available on portal, I will just check what is the problem. Okay, I will note this down. Okay, Satya, I will check that what is the problem for books, why you are not able to see the books. Okay, so I think there is no any query related to. I will check, Sadia, and get back to you. Let us now move on to the logbook 2 part, how it is to be done. Logbook 2. We have seen earlier logbook 1, so now logbook 2 we will move on. So for logbook 2 you can choose the same hospital. It's not that you have to go for any other hospital, and you can do in two hospitals also. You can do in the same hospital or you can do in two separate hospitals as well. Okay, you have that liberty. So first thing you have to do for logbook 2 is visit 5 different departments from a minimum 100 bedded hospital. Which are these 5 departments? OPD, outpatient department, then operation theatre, intensive care unit, inpatient department and emergency department. These 5 departments you have to study for the logbook part. Then you have to note the observation as mentioned in logbook 2. Here the hours to be spent for this activity is 10 to 12 hours per department. This time will be sufficient to note the observation and understand the planning and design parameters for a specific department. 10 to 12 hours per department. So third is very important part is you have to obtain a certificate, okay, that you have completed. Both logbook 1 and 2. You have to include that certificate in your logbook 2. You can scan it and just paste it. Okay, or you can take an image and paste in your report. It should be authentic and it should mention the contact number, the person who is signing, his name, his contact number, email ID, designation. All these things should be there in the certificate, and the certificate should be mentioning that your name. That suppose Dr. Kalyani. So Dr. Kalyani has completed the part logbook 1 in partial fulfillment of planning design in our hospital for these many hours, or they can write the date also. From this and this date, Dr. Kalyani has completed this training part. Such certificate you should obtain at the end of your logbook 2 work and attach in your report. So next is logbook 2. So what, suppose one department we will take operation theatre. So for operation theatre, what are the points I have to study and submit in the report? So first is location and area in square meters of that specific department. Okay. Then comes space adequacy and utilization. What is the occupancy rate in my department, that specific department, and whatever space I am allotted is sufficient to accommodate that many occupancy or not. Then sections within the department. Suppose we are in OPD, then OPD must be having many sections, that this is for corporate healthcare checkup, or this is for gynec OPD, this is for surgical OPD. So these sections you have to mention. Then zoning, if applicable, in OT zoning is provided, so you have to depict that. Illumination provided, ventilation, each department, aesthetics and artwork if available. Most of the pediatric wards or inpatient wards or in labor rooms, these aesthetics and artwork are provided these days. So we have to mention them. Adjacencies and connectivity of the department. So in a way that operation theatre should be in close proximity to ICUs, NICUs, or emergency department should be also in close proximity with operation theatre. Not in close proximity, but connectivity should be of ease. Suppose a patient coming in emergency department, if in an emergency he or she is to be operated, then the transport of patient should be made easy. In an easy way. He should not have to pass through the OPDs and IPDs and then reach OT. The access should be direct. Then medical equipment available in that department, how the installation is done, so that you will be mentioning. And then provision for future expansion. If there is operation theatre and right now it does not have facility for robotics, then how they are planning for accommodating the new upcoming services of robotic surgeries. So if they do not have any plan, then you can suggest a plan for them. So this is logbook 2. Sample for logbook 2 that I am mentioning here. I have taken one department, operation theatre. Okay, location of the now in this my imaginary case, location is 4th floor. Total area allotted is 2,600 square meter. Then space adequacy, I have written here. Number of surgical beds available in hospital are 180. Number of OTs are 3. Okay, so and these 3 OTs are divided as one surgical, one general surgery, gynecology and ortho ENT. One is for endoscopy and one is for septic procedure. So such 3 operation theatres are present. Okay. So sections within the department. Reception and waiting area. Okay. Changing locker rooms, clean corridors, sterile corridor area. So these are the sections within the department. Okay. So detailed list of rooms you can mention here. So this is zoning. Okay. I have depicted here. You can also draw a diagram and include in your report, logbook 2 report. Illumination. All pictures in operation theatre are of LED type and artificially lit up, of course. Emergency lighting has been provided in OT area for backup purpose. So pendant arm lighting with maneuverability on a trolley or pendant type are also provided for tilting and swelling as per the focus requirement while performing surgeries. This we can highlight here. Then natural ventilation. How ventilation, HEPA filters here, we can mention about that. What is the air pressure, air change per hour. Okay. Aesthetics and artwork, wall colors and all. If they are used, we have to write. Then adjacencies and connectivity. So what are the connectivity? Okay. Medical equipment. So what are the medical equipment in OT area of floor space as well as ceiling space? So there are two major categories. First is operation theatre, and the second is the equipment kept in pre and post operative ward. So, and provisions for expansion, whatever you feel you can, as per the uh, trends, you have to write, and suggestions and your remarks. Okay. So these all points per department you have to write down. So all these points per department. For OPD, all these points. For OT, all these points you have to describe and include in your this report. So you can add pictures, you can add flow charts, you can add diagrams in your final report. So how this logbook is to be submitted? So you have to go in LMS, enter your username and password, click on submissions, click on logbook 1 or 2 and upload your file. This is the flow process. So I will show this. Once you log in the LMS, this will appear. Okay, so you have to go to the LMS. Okay, in submission. Okay, you will click on submission here. Then you can click on logbook 1. Okay. Then you can go to logbook 2. And here you will upload a file. The file should be less than 2 MB. If you are including pictures and diagrams, so please ensure that they are of less size, because including pictures make the file heavy. So please ensure that the file is not exceeding 2 MB. You can just compress the images or entire file to fit in this. So you can now post your queries in the chat box. Okay, we will discuss through chat. And this is my email ID. You can contact me on this email. Okay, if you have any queries, I have to check for Sadia why she is not able to see the books. I will check and I will get back to her. If anyone has query about logbook 1 or logbook 2, they can post in question and answer session. We will be also having question and answer session each month. During that time also you can ask your queries or anytime through mail, or you have our phone number as well. Okay, I think there are no queries now, so I will end this session as of now. If you have any queries, you can get back to me on email. Okay, have a nice day. I hope this session will help you to complete your course of logbook. Yeah. Thank you.